Welcome back to the Banana Bunch. I hope you're ready for some penetration because today we're going to find out if broadheads can compete with rifle bullets. Obviously they're not competing with supersonic rifle bullets, but whenever it comes to subsonic rifle bullets, I think they might have a chance, especially with the velocities of modern crossbows. But to find out for sure, we're going to be comparing this crossbow against the 8.6 Blackout. And the first question that we need to answer that I've always wondered is which setup is quieter. But why? Because we don't want to damage Bambi's hearing, of course. Not just kidding. It's because I really hate wearing hearing protection in the stand, and I'm sure you do too. But unfortunately, my ears only register loud and really loud, so this little decibel meter will be taking their place and should give us a more accurate winner. Sorry about all these damn birds, guys. And in order to keep things as fair as possible, both setups will be suppressed, so let's see how loud the crossbow is to start. If that one is louder than the ambient noise out here, it is not by much. I mean, that was barely registering at all, so the 8.6 has its work cut out for it. To give it the best chance possible, I brought out the Def Can 86, which is one of the biggest diameter cans that I know of for the 8.6. I don't know if it's going to be as quiet as that thing. Okay, so they are both extremely quiet. That round is definitely a tie, but here's what that 8.6 would sound like without a suppressor. Yeah, I don't think you could chain me in a deer stand without hearing protection for that one, but I guess that leads us to the part we all came here to see, lethality tests. In order for projectiles moving this slow to be as lethal as possible, they need to drain the game animal of its fluids as quickly as possible, and if these birds don't shut up, I'm going to drain their fluids as quick. I call our first test the double lung dump. Wait, aren't those just balls? Basically, whichever projectile drains these lungs the quickest will be the winner. We have several different projectiles for each, and the first one that we'll be starting off with is the field tip that we were shooting before, which isn't even technically considered a broadhead, but I want to showcase why you should never ever use one of these on a large game animal and also get a baseline. See what I mean? That deer could be running to China and back with basically no trail at all. That's where broadheads come into play, because unlike field tips, broadheads use razor-like edges, well actually razor edges, to cut a much larger diameter through the animal, which ultimately leads to faster fluid loss. When we're talking about the broadheads that are meant for large game, we have two different types, and that's fixed and mechanical. Fixed broadheads typically don't have as large of a cutting diameter as mechanical ones, because if the blades were too large, they'd essentially act like sails on a sailboat and get pushed off target. Mechanical broadheads don't have this issue, so they can be much larger cutting diameters, but the reason that fixed broadheads are still so popular is because whatever cutting diameter they have is guaranteed. In this case, 1 1/16 inches, so let's see what that does. Definitely not the same point of impact, but the same height, so at least that part's good. And this is pretty awkward. It's not even leaking out like the freaking field tip. I don't know if the blades are just going through it too cleanly, but I mean the veins and everything are going through it just like the field tip. As you could see, it kind of sealed itself back up on both of the freaking bottles. This is nuts. Neither one of them are leaking out at all. I never in a million years would have guessed that that would have happened, but if you want as big of a cutting diameter as possible, you're going to want to go with a mechanical broadhead. Now the reason that mechanical broadheads can be so much larger cutting diameters is because the blades right here fold back into the body, which allows them to be more aerodynamic and ultimately create better flight paths on average. Then when the broadhead hits into the game animal, it opens up almost instantly to create the maximum cutting diameter, which like I said is much larger. But the reason that some of the purists out there do not like mechanical broadheads is that if they don't open up for some reason, you're essentially left with field tip like performance, which might not be bad on this test, but realistically that would mean that you have to watch a trophy of a lifetime just run to China and back. Let's see what happens this time around though. Even though they're the same grain weight, they definitely do not come in at the same point of impact as a 100 grain field tip, that's for dang sure. I mean, it just came in so much lower than those other ones, which I believe is why it actually leaked out fully. I guess since the fixed broadhead ones still haven't leaked out, let's go ahead and try that again real quick. Actually, you know what? I brought out a couple spare bottles. They're just not lung colored, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But let us see what happens a little more accurately this time. Hopefully more accurately. I'm going to aim a little higher this time. I just can't win with that thing. I mean, better height placement, but then it came in a little bit further left than I had wanted to. I mean, still, that might be a decent shot placement. Let's see, at least 2 of them opened up on the side. Maybe all 3. Keeps going, and I guess it expanded enough to clip the side of this, which is why that one leaked out so fast, and then it buried itself in this freaking target back here. I do not think I'm getting that broadhead back. Actually, you could see that one of the blades did not open up even after going through the target and everything. I was telling you, I don't know if all 3 opened up back there. Anyway, at least the the bolt is salvageable. Yeah, I guess that leads us on to the bullets. And guys, this Solus pistol is so freaking accurate. If I don't hit exactly where I'm wanting to hit, it is on me. There are no excuses here. But anyway, let's jump on to the field tip of the subsonic bullet world. This is the 300 grain Sierra Match King. If it just travels straight through, it's going to look even worse than that field tip did because it doesn't have any veins or anything coming off of it. But the difference that this one has over the field tip is that it can tumble inside there, which would create a much larger wound channel. But tumbling's not guaranteed, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah, right where I was trying to hit all along with the crossbow. I mean, right on the freaking money, but as you could see, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing came out of this first bottle here, but the second one looks a lot more promising. Looks like it was just starting to tumble on the front of this bottle right here, but on the back side, it was tumbling full-blown max. What? That created a massive wound channel like I was talking about, so I think we already have a new winner. If it hadn't tumbled when it did though, we would probably have 2 bottles that looked even worse than the field tip. This bullet, on the other hand, though, this is entirely why I chose the 8.6 for this testing. It is Guerrilla's 342 grain Punisher series, which, believe it or not, has 4 separate petals that open up just like a mechanical broadhead, but there is still a chance that it'll get plugged up. The thing that the 8.6 has going for it over any sort of broadhead is that unlike a bolt that spins maybe once every 20 feet or, whatever the spin rate is, this one is spinning once every 3 inches.
That's a full rotation in the length of my...
Anyway, that means that this one has a ton of centrifugal force on the bullet, which helps aid in opening up these petals right here, which now when they do open up are spinning at that same crazy rate. So not only does the target have to stop the forward motion of the bullet, it also has to stop the rotational, which should create a massive wound channel. So about that centrifugal force, I mean, I don't think I need to explain anything. Perfect shot placement again. It absolutely ravaged the backside of this bottle here. I mean, it was definitely opening up by the backside. Let us check out the other bottle right here. I'm assuming that's where it went in. Shredded the crap out of these. Oh, and there is our bullet right... Wow, lodged right into the railroad tie, kind of like our broadheads, so I don't think I'm getting that one out of there. So I'd say we definitely have a new number 1, but there is one more bullet that I think could do even more potentially, and that's Guerrilla's 285 grain offering right here. Unlike any broadheads are supposed to do, this bullet is designed to fracture. You can actually see the fracture lines right there, so it shears those pieces off of the nose, creating multiple different wound channels, and then the base keeps going as deep as possible.
That's my kind of bullet.
Well, I spoke too soon. Good shot placement again, just a slight point of impact shift to the right. As we can see, this whole bottle, I mean, not the whole bottle, but a decent amount of it also leaked out. It just took a while longer than the last time. Let us check out the back though, and definitely not as crazy as the last one. I mean, I just don't see any other holes on these bottles, so I don't know if that one actually split apart or not.
Those are just water bottles.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Let's try some ballistic gel. Should show us what was going on inside those water bottles, as well as a more accurate depth penetration, but let's make this a speed round. Oh, you fuck. Well, I am to the left of the block this time because it was hitting on the right side of the bottle last time from what I recall, and guess where it hit this time? Yeah, I recalled incorrectly. I was hitting on the left-hand side, so that was my bad, but I didn't have any more broadheads to waste. Guess we'll give that other broadhead a try. I mean, what's another 20 bucks? least the holdover for that one was decent enough. I mean, we could not have gotten closer to the edge with the mechanical broadhead opening up, but it does look like it opened up all the way around. Yep, it definitely opened up, I believe, all the way around. Wow, look at that. Nice looking wound channel, but as you can see, it is exactly the profile of the blades. Now on to my favorite part, bullet time, mainly because it's way more freaking accurate between all three different loads. Thought I told those damn blocks that there's no smoking allowed on the premises. Just kidding, that looked so impressive though. And boy, did it. Let's get the 3-fer in there. Yep, not getting in there. Second one, oh, that's pretty good. And then the top one, oh wow. That is definitely the best one. And that is the 342 grain load that I was talking about. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at that wound channel. You could see how tightly it was twisting through there. Almost like it was twisting every 3 inches, which is exactly what it was doing. The fracturing bullet down here definitely fractured its nose that time. I see all 4 pieces separated from the base. And then the Sierra Match King did start tumbling, although pretty deep into the block. It takes a hard left, and I guess that is where it exited the block right there. The base of the 285 grain bullet looks like it landed here, and then the other one curved up and out. Oh man, I really wish we caught that one. But one major factor that neither bare ballistic gel or water bottles, lungs don't take into consideration are bones. Every game animal that walks the planet has them, and sometimes it's just impossible to avoid them, especially if you only have a split second to take a shot on a trophy animal. So as a worst case scenario, I brought out 3/4 inch plywood to put in front of the ballistic gel so we could see if we get similar wound channels and depths and everything like that. I just really hope that I don't waste another broadhead bolt combo. I mean, if it happens, I guess such is life. It's just turning out to be one expensive video. So if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. There we go. There we go! I was like, you know what? Forget everything. I am just going to aim dead center. We will see where it hits. And it hit, somewhat close to dead center, but as we can see, that penetration does not look fair. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me grab the tape measure right here, which, we don't have a baseline on this one. Not even 7 inches of penetration.
You would know what that's like.
Arguably, it wouldn't have even hit the vitals very good, and the wound channel looks smaller than the cutting diameter for some reason. I guess it kind of shrinks down after it goes through, but I am very shocked with that, especially because this bow's putting out like 184 foot-pounds of energy. I am just so glad that I didn't waste another broadhead bolt combo, but hopefully I get a good shot on this one. Yep, it is not happening today. Definitely not happening today. But at least I don't have to worry about that with the bullets. Speed round. Just kidding, that time it was okay. And there are our 3 shot placements. I believe this was the orientation. That'll help us identify which is which if we pull it away. Oh yeah, that is definitely the orientation. Thought we'd have a lot more wood shards in the block, but pretty happy that that's not the case. Here is the 285 grain, 342, and then the 300 grain Sierra Match King. Guess we should check the pinky test. Oh yeah, that looks like that collided with another round. That one is pretty terrible, and then this, whoa, way worse than before. I don't know. I don't think that means good things, but anyway, the 300 grain Sierra Match King comes in. Didn't have much of a wound channel up until this point right here where it started tumbling. Keeps tumbling like a mofo, keeps going out the block, I believe. The 342 grain expander here did not expand at all. Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. It just keeps going, keeps going out the top of the block right here. I guess it started yawing a little bit. But I told you that bone might plug it up, and I was not expecting it to, but it obviously did. Onto the 285 grain fracturing bullet down here. This is our last hope, and oh shite, it looks like that one just kept going. It does not shear anything off, keeps going straight out the freaking back of the block. I mean, at that point, it's like, do you want penetration or do you want a lot less penetration with a decent wound channel? I mean, I'm always a fan of penetration, but to each their own. Here's some more videos for you to check out, and remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.